Joining us right now is the editor-in-chief of Axios, Nicholas Johnston. Nicholas, it's good to have you on the program this morning.
Good
Welcome.
Morning.
So what do you make of all of this?
I think this is another amazing episode of The Trump Show. Some of our latest reporting this morning from my good friend Mike Allen and Axios AM today had, even before this book came out, Steve Bannon and President Trump were still talking, were still friendly. Steve Bannon, knowing what he had said in this book, waiting for it to come out, had been telling friends that he had hoped he would be running President Trump's re-election campaign. If President Trump wasn't going to run, he hoped he would run himself. You know, he's been traveling the country, sort of building name recognition, appearing at congressional rallies. And then now suddenly the book is out and we've had this massive explosion here where now Steve Bannon is completely on the outs with the administration. President Trump's statement yesterday, we called it scorched earth. It was incredible how much it went after Steve Bannon, one of his former closest advisors. And so I think that relationship now is probably completely destroyed. So what's fascinating to watch now is what happens next with Steve Bannon viewing himself as sort of the ideological heir to the America First Trump agenda, particularly in the midterm elections.
Nicholas, I'll raise one thing, and this is from also Axios reporting, that Michael Wolff had access to all of these people. He spent months inside the White House interviewing. This is according to the release from the publisher, based on more than 200 interviews with the president, most members of his senior staff, and many of the people they in turn spoke to Wolff. So again, I think that this episode, does it raise questions about the judgment of the people who would give Michael Wolff this kind of unfettered access to all of these players. They might not be happy with what Steve Bannon said, taking shots at the president's children, but they're the ones who opened the door to this writer.
Oh, right, absolutely. The editor's note in the book and in the excerpt yesterday is fascinating to read. And it talks about how Michael Wolff, he said, essentially set himself up on a couch in the West Wing because the president said it's fine to be there. And he said it spoke a little bit to the dysfunction of the campaign and the opening days of the administration because there was no one there who could say, wait, why is a reporter sitting here every day interviewing everyone? He needs to be out in the press room with everybody else where he can't have this kind of access. Nobody really took the step to sort of push him out. And there's another thing that we're talking to people in the Trump administration are saying is that the person he spoke to the most was Bannon. It was referred to in the White House as Bannon's book, and they were worried that Bannon was going to use it for score settling. Now that the book is out, we can clearly see that's true.
Well, Bannon probably gave him that access at the time when he was in the White House, right? I mean, who would give him such access?
Well, the president.
The president.
Yeah, of course, the president, but also probably on the pushing of Bannon.
Well, look, to Nicholas's point, this is pre John Kelly.
Yeah,
this is before. If John Kelly had been in that job early on, but again, Mike Allen at Axios is saying that Michael Wolff was in the West Wing unsupervised.
That is so stupid. I'm sorry.
He knows President Trump from years of being a media figure in New York City.
And it was like that. I did get to go into the West Wing, and you could just walk around and go from place to place. And
something General Kelly changed.
Yes. Nicholas, great reporting and stuff that you're doing.
Thanks.
Do we know how true this is? I mean, there are reports of this, but are there parts of this book where their president's going to draw a line and just say that is absolutely factually just not true?
I mean, I think that's the approach the administration is taking already, saying that a lot of the things that Bannon is alleging are false. Michael Wolff told Mike Allen this morning that he has hundreds of hours of tapes. A lot of these interviews were on the record and recorded. Of course, the difficulty in reporting these kinds of books is sort of one person says it went one way and one person said it went the other way. I think there's more reporting we need to do to figure out what is true and what is not. But I think what's very important to say, like, you know, what the opinions drawn by these people, what Bannon said he said is clearly true. The attacks he said on the Trump family, on Kushner, on saying that the real estate empire is a money laundering organization.
Wow.
You know, those are things he said, and I think that's why this book has been such a bombshell.
Well, we'll see about this desist letter, the cease and desist letter, and what kind of impact that has. Look, let me switch gears real quick and ask you about the president's meeting on DACA. He will sit down with Senate Republicans to discuss the Dreamers, border security. Pairing the two could be critical in order to pass a government spending package by January 19th, which is obviously the deadline. The president said he will not sign a deal unless it includes funding for his border wall. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says that the GOP is willing to work with Democrats. Here's what she said. Got to get your take on this, Nicholas.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
The president urges Democrats to adhere to the so-called Schumer rule and not hold the government hostage in an attempt to advance a radical political agenda. We'd like to make a deal on securing funding for the border wall, as well as ending chain migration, ending the visa lottery program, interior enforcement. So we'd like to do that right away. So if the Democrats are willing to sit down and make that deal, I think we'd be happy to get that done by the end of the month.
Will they get it done, Nicholas? What's your take?
I do not see a government shutdown coming over this, but this is very difficult policy to get. I covered immigration on the Hill for 6 years during the Bush administration. It is very difficult. It is a policy graveyard. Many different things fail, and it's something that can tear the Republicans and Democrats apart when they try and come together on this. I'm looking for sort of a smaller deal, probably to solve pieces of this, maybe push it into the next year, and then get some of the funding that the Republicans want.
Talking to my former colleagues, I think a lot of the conservatives want to actually have the immigration dealt with as a separate issue, whether the border funding gets in there or dealing with sanctuary cities. That language could make it into the appropriations bill, right?
I mean, that's where it gets really dangerous, though. Jason, you were on the Hill. You remember comprehensive immigration reform is very difficult because so many things get added to it. And the more you add to it, the more you're likely this sort of coalition to collapse. And that's why I think they're going to go for a smaller deal.
Smaller deal, separate deal, but do they avoid the shutdown then? You don't see it happening. You agree with that, Jason?
I think they wait till the very last hour. That's the way Congress does it. It will be January 19th.
That's the way it's done. Nicholas Johnston, good to see you, sir. Thank you.